Hey guys, Lincoln here. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Dread Captures. We have an awesome video for you this week, all trending footage. Let me know if you like it. Doing a few shorter videos, let me know. As always, please like, subscribe, share with a friend. It goes a long way. I appreciate you all. Let me know your favorite clip down below. Now this is some very interesting audio from Rocky Mountain Sasquatch. A listener sent it in and is pretty sure that they are Bigfoot vocalizations. Check this out.
What the fuck is that noise? What is that noise?
Alright, what do you guys think? Is this legit? Seems a bit close to kind of a residential area, but I mean, it definitely sounds like it's coming from some type of humanish creature. Let me know in the comments if you guys have heard anything similar to this. This next little clip comes from Squatch Watchers, and we can see a hairy creature walking through the woods. This kind of reminds me of one of Sunny Vator's videos, but I can't quite tell. It didn't really come with much information, but it did say that this Bigfoot was clearing a path, and that the person sent it in had noticed paths all over the back of his property. I feel like lately these have boiled down to either they're legit Bigfoot sightings or it's a hoax. So I hope someone knows if this is actually real or not. I just couldn't pass this one over. This man finds a chameleon which he thinks is dead until he sees a little bit of movement, and he has an idea. He's going to try to nurse this thing back to health. He picks it up and he starts by giving it a little bit of water. The chameleon was too weak to drink the water, so the man tried as hard as he could to get the water down its pipe. He eventually doused the chameleon in water, and the man sensed that the chameleon liked this. He saw a little movement, but the chameleon was still too weak. So, believe it or not, the man performed mouth to mouth on this chameleon, and then proceeded to do chest compressions, CPR. Eventually he noticed some more movement, and the man decided that he was going to take it home and nurse it back to health. When he gets home, he makes a little mixture of glucose water and takes a little syringe and starts feeding the chameleon. A few more days of rest and nurturing, the chameleon started to get some strength. And wouldn't you know it, he was back, baby. The man set up a simple enclosure for the chameleon to live in. He would occasionally take it outside to let it catch flies, or if any got in the house, he'd eat them right up. The man wasn't sure he was getting enough exercise because he started to notice that his belly was full. Either that or he was eating too many flies. Well, it turns out to be neither of those things, because one day the chameleon vigorously started digging a hole in a flower pot, and that was because she was about to give birth. Well, that one good breed helped extend the family tree, because as you can see, he has a bunch of chameleons now. And let's just dive into the comments and let me know how cute these things are. Oh my gosh, I had no idea. I mean, they don't even look real. Look at those little things. Unbelievable. Great job by this Good Samaritan. Yes, that was what you thought it was. A man being chased by a bear that is picked up by a drone. I mean, is this real? Can this be real? Like, what are the chances that this drone was in the woods while this was happening? I don't know. If it is, this is unbelievable. I mean, you do see the bear look back at it and like almost make a decision, like which one do I want? But man, I don't know. This would just be unbelievable if this was a real clip. This next clip comes from Brushbuck Wildlife Tour out in Yellowstone. They have captured an awesome interaction. I mean, it's pretty incredible. This grizzly bear, who's supposed to be in hibernation, has stumbled upon a wolf pack's kill. You can see she's pawing at it, it's buried under the snow, and some wolf pack members are hanging around. Yeah, I'm sure the wolf pack were pretty surprised when they came back and this big old grizzly bear sitting on top of their kill. It's pretty interesting to see the difference between this clip and the last clip, because the bear wasn't aggressive at all in the last clip, really. I mean, it was mostly just trying to fend the wolves off. But you can tell the introduction of food has made this a much more dangerous interaction. One thing's the same though, the wolf pack is going to bring numbers. They just keep showing up. Look at them all. I read a stat from this Wildlife Tours page. It says that grizzlies take over wolf kills 80% of the time in the greater Yellowstone ecosystem. So maybe they weren't too surprised. Nevertheless, pretty cool to see the distinct differences between the two clips. A couple of friends decided to mountain bike the trails of the Scotland woods. Sounds like a fun adventure, right? They were excited, and it was. Well, this trip appears to take a creepy turn for the worse. The second rider with a GoPro attached to his helmet follows behind his friend. They're ripping and roaring, jumping, just whipping through the woods here. All of a sudden, the first rider looks to his right, and we see it. And for some reason, he stops. It appears there's some type of creature or man in a costume hidden behind a tree. If you kind of zoom in, the pale face, the blank expression, I mean, it's pretty unsettling. I tried to rewind it to see if it popped out from behind the tree or if it was like propped up against it. I couldn't really tell. Some folks say it's just a creepy thing meant to freak everyone out. But others are saying that these people are part of a cult and he's out looking for a sacrifice. Others even mention that there's witches in these woods and that it was a witch encounter. I don't know what the creepy creature is, but this next part gave me chills. Apparently this GoPro footage was found abandoned in the woods. No one around. This photo was originally posted in a subreddit and it's caught a lot of attention. The picture is of the uploader's great-great-grandfather's grave, and it's not just any old picture. A touching moment in a black and white photo that shows children gathered around the grave. But that's not the most intriguing part. In the background, there's something really creepy going on. On the left side of the grave in the background, you can see a figure of a woman. You can't really make out her features though. Her face and head are kind of covered in a white light, maybe missing, just not able to make out any distinct features. Even in a restored version of the photograph, you still can't see her face. To me, that makes it even more eerie and mysterious. So what do you guys think? I mean, let's consider this. The photo was taken decades ago. Way before tools like Photoshop or any AI related things, way before they were invented. So it begs the question, could this actually be a genuine capture of a ghost? I mean, it certainly gets me thinking. Now let's take a little dip in the realm of the unexplained. Check out this Trailcam image. At first glance, it might appear as if we're looking at some sort of ape, maybe a picture taken on vacation or somewhere in the Amazon. Despite the grainy quality of the capture, the person who uploaded this image is convinced that the creature is holding a baby close to its face. Which leads me into a little pit stop. At first, when I first saw this photo, I could not make out the baby for the life of me. So if you can't, let me know. But it looks like it's holding the baby with the baby's back towards us, if that helps. And the even funnier part is now I can't unsee the animal with the baby. But here's what makes this capture truly extraordinary. This image wasn't taken in the Amazon, it was taken in Florida. And the uploader believes that what we're seeing is none other than the elusive skunk ape. For those not in the know, the skunk ape is said to be Florida's swamp-dwelling version of Bigfoot. This photo has also been exceptionally intriguing because you don't often see skunk apes with their babies. What do you think? Do we have a skunk ape and its kid? Or is this whole scenario simply a case of mistaken identity? I'd love to know your thoughts. I'd also love to know if you can see the ape holding the baby. On a family night out in Japan, a father filmed his two sons standing next to a tree. While he was looking through the video camera, he spotted something pretty chilling. When the father zooms in with the camera, looking at the kid on the left, you can see a pale hand gripping one of the boy's legs from behind. The boy didn't react. He didn't feel or see it. But his panicked dad did, and he rushed over. But by the time he got there, the hand had vanished. They searched around the tree, but nothing. When the video hit Dark Secrets, theories exploded. Some suggested an ashwang, which are usually floating heads with no hands, so that didn't really check out. Others mentioned a duende, which is a playful spirit we've featured here before. Commenters chimed in saying maybe it was something from the tree itself, attaching to the boy. I don't even know what that means. Japan has a rich folklore full of haunting tales, unexpected experiences, and disappearances. Could this be one of them? Do you think we caught an actual paranormal experience on camera? So the purpose of this footage was to initially reveal the existence of a hidden landfill type place near an urban area. However, that quickly took a back seat to what we see inside this bus. Pay close attention to the windows. Yeah. What was that? It appears to be a face in the window, but when the camera pans inside the bus, it mysteriously vanishes. It kind of made my heart drop, but this has to be some type of clever fake or something. Although the sudden camera movement might suggest an opportunity for manipulation, we slowed down the footage going frame by frame, and surprisingly, there don't seem to be any cuts in the video. But let me know if you guys notice anything. This viral video claims that a giant face has showed up next to the moon. Let's dive in. Online debaters are raging against each other. Is it real? Is it computer generated? I don't even know anymore. Some experts point to the shaky camera work, suggesting someone is using a telescope zoom. I mean, what do we even have here? Is this really a face? I mean, what? I can't believe the attention this thing is getting. Some folks believe it could be clouds shaped by the wind into a recognizable face. But I will admit the detail here is pretty incredible. It almost looks like a powerful being is looking down at the earth with a frown. Some are saying that this is exactly what our ancient gods looked like. I don't know. I'm almost positive this is a hoax, but it is getting a lot of attention. This intriguing photograph was taken back in 1950 by Abby Rowe, who was a photographer for the National Park Service. The photo is in black and white and shows what looks like a ghostly figure of a human standing in the now basement of the White House. The figure appears towards the back of an area that was under construction at the time. Now, here's where it really gets interesting. When this photo was taken, no one really noticed this apparition. There were no stories about it, no one knew anything. Not until 2008, a guy from Missouri named Bob Martin spotted it when he was reading David McCullough's award-winning biography of President Truman. I mean, this biography actually won a Pulitzer Prize, and no one noticed this but this guy. Now, because things have been moved around, this mysterious figure is also said to be standing right next to Lincoln's bedroom. And surprisingly, a lot of people believe this to be Abraham Lincoln's ghost. And as some of you may know, Lincoln's ghost has been the stuff of White House legend for years. Multiple presidents and their families have reported seeing Lincoln's spirit wandering the hallways of the presidential residence. But not so fast, not everyone's convinced it's a ghost. I've heard from photographers who think there might be a simpler explanation. One suggested that the figure could be the result of a low ISO setting on the camera, which can sometimes create strange effects in a photograph. Another photographer in the comments said that the light could be playing off the pattern of the stone wall in the basement. But, I don't know. Do we have a legit ghost sighting? Maybe even Lincoln's ghost? Now, if I've ever heard of a story blurring the lines between creepy and comforting, this is it. It all starts with the Ramirez family. Their youngest daughter Maria noticed the attic lights kept turning on and off all by themselves. At first, they all thought it was just a wiring issue, but when an electrician came, he didn't find anything awry. As the days went on, the lights kept going rogue. A camera in the home would pick up the flickering, especially when the house was empty. Feeling spooked, they set up other security cameras. And that's when things got really interesting. See, yeah. Did you catch that shadow flitting around the camera? Well, the Ramirez family did. After digging through old photos and documents, they discovered the shadowy figure matched a former resident, a guy named Federo who lived there over 100 years ago. The family found more evidence and more photos and videos of Federer's ghostly presence. But here's where it gets weird. The Ramirez family, initially startled and scared, got used to Federo. They even nicknamed him the Guardian because it seemed like he was looking after the house while they were gone. He never interacted with them directly, but they felt his presence. The family admits that seeing Federo's shadow on camera was still creepy, but to this day they've never really felt threatened. In fact, they actually use this as a strange sense of comfort, knowing that he's watching over their home. They do think that there are bigger questions along the horizon. The biggest one being, why is Federo still hanging around after all these years? Back in 1967, something pretty strange happened in the quaint village of Carlinghouse, North Yorkshire. It really got people talking, especially those who were into the paranormal. So a man named Harry Dack took what he thought was a simple photo of his young grandson Neil, just hanging out with his dog. But when he looked closer at the picture, he realized there was something, or rather someone, next to Neil that definitely was not supposed to be there. What he saw was the figure of a woman, but she looked kind of ghostly and transparent. Even more unsettling, her eyes were closed, giving off a pretty eerie vibe. I mean, when I look at this picture, I'm left wondering, is the figure asleep? Could she actually be dead? What's going on here? Like me, people had all sorts of theories. Some thought the mysterious woman might be from another era, maybe even a ghost stuck in time. Of course, others speculated that it could just be a technical glitch like a double exposure in the photograph. But here's the kicker. The owners say that camera has never done anything close to that before. And unfortunately, we are no closer to answers than we were back then. Her true identity still remains a mystery.